So not even a full day after releasing my last Sonic Frontiers video, we got more Sonic Frontiers updates alongside the confirmation that Shadow the Hedgehog will appear in the upcoming Sonic Prime. But I'm only going to focus on Frontiers for now, as I really don't want to deal with any copyright stuff from Netflix. This time, we'll be going over some new details that IGN shared during their first hands-on impression video from this past Tuesday, June the 7th, as well as some new footage and a brand new animated prologue for the game, both being shown off during the most recent Sonic Central stream, which happened at the exact same time IGN's hands-on video went live. Okay, whose decision was this? So I'm here to, once again, break it all down and analyze everything we've seen, but before we get started, if you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to check out my previous video where I go over the exploration and combat gameplay videos, as well as sharing my concerns for the game. Based on these two pieces of footage, I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get started with the newly teased animated prologue for the game, which will be releasing sometime before the game's launch and serving as an extra piece of the story before the start of the game. And if you're familiar with the other animated Sonic shorts to promote games such as Sonic Mania, Team Sonic Racing, and Sonic Colors Ultimate, then this one will be no different, aside from the fact it's looking a lot darker than the other shorts were, as this teaser starts off with Knuckles and the Master Emerald in the midst of a thunderstorm. That's it. That's the whole teaser. It's interesting that they chose to bring the Master Emerald back as a plot element for Frontiers, considering the second movie featured it, as a main focus anyways, but the last time the Master Emerald had any sort of decent role in the games was, my gosh, Sonic Chronicles of all things? So I'm assuming something happens to the Master Emerald, which will kickstart the events of Frontiers, with Sonic, Tails, and Amy being sucked through a wormhole at the start of the game and get separated, with Sonic hearing an AI voice that guides him to find the Chaos Emeralds. In order to get them, you'll need to collect Vault Keys, and to get those, you have to complete a variety of optional goals for special, bite-sized linear stages. For example, collecting all the Red Star rings, finishing them within a set amount of time, etc. Now, when IGN used the term linear, I'm not sure if they're implying Forces-styled modern linear stages, or something more in line with the classic games. Either way, to unlock these stages, you'll need to hunt down bosses to collect what's known as portal gears. We can see one in the combat gameplay when Sonic attacks this one's foot with his new Sideloop Attack. Yep, that's the actual name for it. And it's explained that this move is just one of a few different ways to take on enemies. The shielded enemy that we saw last time was used as an example of this, as you can either wait for it to expose itself, which only gives you a short window to attack, use the Sideloop to remove its shield, or you can parry their attacks just before taking damage to remove them instead. Now, even though I never really used parry-based moves in any sort of game, I do like that enemies have more than one way of dealing with them. Oh, and remember those diamond-shaped collectibles I mentioned in the last video? Yeah, it turns out that those are actually part of the game's experience system, which can be used in the game's skill tree, which is a first for the series, to unlock brand new skills to use against enemies. And as someone who's played my fair share of Sonic Unleashed as well as Marvel's Spider-Man and Horizon, I love the idea of them combining both worlds with Frontiers. IGN also confirmed a few other things in their hands-on impression. The Lightspeed Dash is returning. I kinda missed that one. There'll be point A to point B time races, which leads to improvising your paths to the finish line based on how well you use the open zone to your advantage, to get there in the fastest amount of time, which may not be obvious at first. Although I don't really call that a race, as it sounds to me more like a time trial from Crash Bandicoot if anything else. Completing challenges like these rings, the Jak and Daxter puzzle, using the Sideloop on these lantern things, rotating statues the right way, or just jumping back and forth between colored tiles, these are how you unlock portions of the map, not towers. Which, okay, it's different, I'll give them that. The current gameplay footage is an older build, which we already knew about, as well as the one IGN was invited to play, which they managed to play the game for roughly 4 hours, with noticeable pop-in being present in both builds. IGN also notes that the bosses need the most work compared to everything else, as flying off this boss happens for no real reason. But it does confirm to us that Sonic can climb on more than just certain walls, which I talked about in my last video. Lacking momentum to reach the boss's head was also brought up, and this is where we can see the boss releasing red electrical spheres if Sonic gets too close to the top before getting to the weak spots. Now, as for the momentum thing, yes, I'm aware people have brought this up numerous, and I mean numerous times on Twitter, and I would really like to see a momentum system, but if it's an intentional choice, then I can't really say much. But I won't deny it, it will probably make the game feel much better. And finally, the piano melodies that we've heard throughout all the footage so far, including the boss encounter, which was a criticism I mentioned in my last video. According to creative officer at Sonic Team, Takashi Iizuka, this is an intentional choice by saying, past games in the Sonic series have taken different tones depending on their story and themes. This time, the mysterious islands are the game's major setting. That's why our artists have worked hard to create a mysterious mood. In regards to the game being called an open zone rather than an open world, he said, open world games like Zelda or other AAA games fundamentally have RPG or action worlds. For Sonic, the core here is a 3D action game. Our basic idea was to have that take place in an open space. What sets Sonic Frontiers apart is this different approach to an open game world. Now, the final thing I have for you guys today is this new teaser that featured new gameplay from the recent Sonic Central stream. Let's point this out right now, that there is a day and night system, which we don't exactly know how that works just yet, if it's automatic like in Horizon, or just a simple flip of a switch. But if I had to wager, it's probably the latter, or a mixture of both. As these hourglass-looking objects that we've seen in the gameplay so far, which I did not point out in my last video, these are probably how we switch back and forth between night and day, just like Unleashed. But if the cycle is automatic, then this would simply fast forward time, similar to Horizon's campfire system. Anyways, this teaser focuses on a new flying type of boss that creates a trail that Sonic can run on to reach it. This kinda reminds me of the ship-based bosses from Colors, as well as the Zavok boss from Forces, which doesn't look to be a bad combination, despite everybody hating Zavok. Oh, and it's also worth mentioning that they played Night of the Wind right after showing that teaser, which was a nice touch given the tone of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we've seen this past Tuesday, and we'll likely see more of the game during Summer Games Fest, and if we happen to see anything during Summer Games Fest, I will be sure to make another update video. Oh boy, June's already fun. I haven't even been able to talk about the Nick Brawl voice acting update yet. So, yeah, be sure to leave your thoughts about all this down in the comments section below. Also be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell for the latest Sonic Frontiers updates and breakdowns as they happen, which might actually be a few days later than everybody else, but hey, I'm determined to keep covering this game no matter what. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching and for the constant support. I really do appreciate it, and once again, I've been Blue Knight, and I'll see you guys back here next time.